quick live stream. The markets aren't open today because it's Good Friday, and just been doing some work on my stocks pick of the week for next week from the Expert Stocks Predator. So this is the culmination of 18 months of work following the publication of my book called Confluence, Not Coincidence. So this scans at the moment 4,930 stocks for confluence, bullish or bearish confluence, and we look at three different technical indicators so far: the roller coaster, the X-spread algo, which has 12 points of control of confluence on its own. Then add the roller coaster and the heat map for confirmation, some very, very strong trading opportunities. And Eaton is my stocks trade of the week for next week. There's lots of other stocks on there, and I'm just going to add that to my main watch list for now. And then I'm just going to go to the end of day scanner, and then going to take the filter off there. So there's lots of stocks that we do, and with the confluence, we can look for 2 green, we can look for early starters with 1 green, or we can look for ones that are ready to go with 3 green now. If I go to my main watch list, we can see Eaton is on there with that filter already applied, so I can go straight to it. So one of the things that we teach our users for using the stocks predator is that we've got 3 out of 3. There's 3 traffic lights green there. So there's a potentially good trade there. But the first thing we do, and I've already pre-done this, but I'm going to go onto the chart, and it's always on the daily time frame. So what we're going to do is just follow these same steps every time we look at a stock. So first of all, we're going to look at the weekly time frame. This has been in pretty much hyper growth since July 2024, and we've had a profit-taking pullback right now on the weekly. So we can see this very, very sort of narrow channel, the growth channel, and we can see this now on this pullback. What I've used, and I'm going to just delete it just to show you again, is a what we call a regression trend channel. So this is just a normal parallel channel that I've drawn on there, and I can just identify when it breaks out of that channel that we've got this pullback. The pullback has found support at this previous weekly zone. We can see here it's been tested. We've got a big sort of rejection on this week where we're in confluence with the bottom of this channel and the linear support and resistance zone of that weekly zone that I've drawn in there. So this is a very strong zone, and it's tested it again. What I want to do is I want to measure the performance of this pullback. Just because we say the algorithms and the scans have picked these up, what you need to do is look for some certain things. You need to frame your chart, so you need to understand where that support and resistance zones are. The grey one up there is a daily. I'm going to do that in a minute, where those channels are. But also, if we've got a pullback like this, simple tool, it's called a regression trend. So if we click on the top of that trend and the bottom here, we can see we've got the channel in there, but more importantly, I've got to zoom in so you can see this. There is a number printed. This is what's called a Pearson's R. Don't worry what it means. The main thing is 0.915 is 91.5%. Anything over 90%, this identifies this pullback as an orderly profit-taking pullback. So the range is probably, it's standard. Again, it's between 7 to 10 candles on this weekly. It's got over a 90% on the Pearson's R. And it's just broke out of there now. So on the weekly, we've got all the time frames on the buy steps, heat map green as well down the bottom. So we've got some confirmation there. We understand the behavior of this pullback is normal and within normal parameters. It's found support at a previous support zone, and I'm just going to actually identify that for you here with an ellipse. I discussed this in my book, Confluence, Not Coincidence. So where we get this massive rejection of the lows on this candle here at not just the linear support zone, but the non-linear of this channel that I've drawn in, that's confluence, okay? That's very important. If that zone gets tested again, which it has, and then breaks out of the regression trend channel, the likelihood is it's going to go and test at least these highs at $18. So we're going to go back to the daily now. Again, this is just one of the stocks from the scan from overnight. So now what we have now on the daily is I've identified those highs. We've got a cluster of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 daily candles here, really trying to push through them, failed, and then that was a catalyst for this move down, for this profit taking. We've now broken out of that regression trend channel. We have the green triangle, which is the roller coaster signal. We have a 5-star buy on the XPRAD algo, which is 5 out of 6. That's 6 star is the greatest sort of probability. 5 star is 11 out of 12 points of confluence. That's a very, very strong signal. Then all 6 time frames here on this heat map are green. This is why we're 3 out of 3. Now, an entry for this, again, barring any major gaps, is on Monday to break the high of this particular candle. So the high was 1450. So what we'd look for is to put a stop market order on. Again, you've got to look at pre-market when the market opens. You've got to look at that pre-market and make sure we're not gapping beyond the stop market order. That's very critical. But what should be looking at is, we need quite an aggressive entry here at probably, so we said the high was 1450. So 1455 or 1460 here is what we should be looking at. So if I just change that to a trend line here and I put in a 1460, that's the sort of entry we should be looking at next week with a target of $18. For those trading options, we've got to look at average moves on this. So last time we tested this zone on the daily and we moved up, it was 8th of Jan to around about the 5th of Feb, so a month. Okay, so we're looking at least a month out from now, maybe end of May expiry with an $18 strike price. That's not a bad options type of trade. I'm not going to go into option strategies because I'm going to be honest, I don't trade options. I find it extremely complicated, even though I've been trading 30 years. For me, I would use contracts for difference, or just literally, it's a cheap stock. I'm going to buy the stock. Okay, so this, then there. So what we'd like to see is not to panic at the $18 point. And again, if this gets in, I'm going to be updating on my sort of stocks trade of the week type and how to manage that in future sessions. And I'm probably going to just do this once a week. So, probably a Friday or a Saturday, I'll do my stocks trade of the week and update the rest of the others. I'm not going to share things every single day because our users use this very, very well, and I support them in that. So Eaton is my stocks trade of the week for next week. Very good looking trade. So what I want to do is go through to my current live trades. So what I mean by live trades, let me just find, okay. So these are the ones I've covered in previous live stream sessions when I've done those stocks trade of the week or just some educational type trading. So we're going to go through these very briefly now. 2 of them are UK stocks because our scanner scans US stocks, Canadian stocks, German, Indian, UK, you name it. It's there. It's looking for high probability international stocks because most brokers now allow you to buy anywhere in the world. So let's just go to Marks and Spencer's. Again, I covered this in a video at the beginning of this week, and we had confluence at this point here. We had the 5, 6-star buys, we had the green triangle, then we went all green going into this. So at this point, this is the sort of momentum building, and then we were all green going into this candle on the 11th of April. We've got a very strong sort of daily zone there that I've drawn in. And what I want to do is I want to get this back into this longer term channel here on Marks and Spencer's. with those, 475 and even 500 type price targets. Really, that's that weekly channel after the Trump tariff pullback. It's recovered, doing very, very well. So we go back, we look at this daily and our entry. Again, we look for those stock market entries to push through that daily resistance zone, and now it's doing very well. Closed yesterday 411.30. We got in around about 485.35. So this is a really good, strong, it's back in that channel now. We can see now we do have a stop being printed on the roller coaster. So for those swing trading and not investing in this stock, you would be very low risk right now, because this is where your stop would be. Let's draw that on there. You see this line moving up here. So you're underneath that particular, I'm going to put that on because not everybody would be investing. Some people will be swing trading. That would be a stop right now. And then again, I can update that next week as well when I do another video. The other London stock, let's go straight to that one, is 3i. Again, another great potential opportunity here. Not going to go through the full technical analysis, just look through the playlist and you'll find I think it's 15th or something like that of April. Again, for me, what I was looking for is green triangle, 6-star buy. But to be honest, I went in early and I discussed this because we needed the room, the fresh air there. As soon as I got all green, I went in, and my entry was at 3967, and that's where it's doing right now. Okay, and then two more US type stocks that I've covered in previous videos. This one a little bit more complicated, but we had a longer term, if we go to the weekly, a longer term bullish channel, which we had a parabolic move out of, and then it came back to test this confluence here. Very, very strong. Again, I'm using that regression trend channel here. You can see 0.9032, so just over 90% for this pullback to test that linear support and resistance zone and have that confluence basically bouncing out of this previous sort of trend channel here. Very, very strong support there for me. Lots of confluence. Go back to the daily. Okay, so again, we discussed potential trades for options traders with that strike price around about $136 or $140, depending on the strategy you're using. We get that roller coaster coming in here. We're testing that support again. We get the 5-star buy. For me, the 5-star buy was enough, but I did get a 6-star buy at this point. Got all 6 time frames green, so total confluence. We got the close that day at this point. So again, I just want to go in just above the close, and 116.04-ish was the entry, and that's where we are now. And then the final one, LANC, again, another one here where we have potential options play with a $200 strike price. Very, very simple. No trend channels on this one. It's been going up and down in a range for a long time, but we've got that confluence come in with, we skipped the 5, we went 4 to 6. We got the green triangle. We're all green, and that was my entry, 185.05, and that's where we closed yesterday at 189.03. So just a quick recap of those ones that are live, and then that on the main watch list. If I just put the filter on for the heat map here to all green, we will see that's the one. That's my stock sort of stock pick of the week for next week. Good looking setup, lots of confluence everywhere with linear, non-linear support resistance zones. We've got that full confluence. We're 11 out of 12 on that expat algo, that 5-star buy. We've got the roller coaster signal. We've got all 6 time frames green. We've broken out this regression trend channel. There's every likelihood that $18 is going to be tested in the next month. So that's where I've chosen that stock for next week. I'm going to try and do this every week. I don't know whether it's going to be a Friday, a Saturday, or a Sunday, depending on what happens in my life. But I'll try and do this once a week and try and pick just one stock from the scanner but at the end of the week to do that. Remember, the stocks Predator is available. The links are down below in the description right now. So these scans operate every single day. And for those that are serious in investing, swing trading, options trading, stocks, ETFs, and to be honest, there's even crypto and forex in there as well. we scan every 24 hours and look for that confluence. Hopefully that helps. Check out the links below. Speak to you all next week.